It started with a love story, a best-selling novel, a high-profile film adaptation, but instead of ending with a romantic Hollywood premiere, it exploded into a $400 million legal nightmare. Blake Lively, one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses, filed a bombshell lawsuit in late 2024. Her target, director and co-star Justin Baldoni, the same man she was working with on the highly anticipated movie It Ends With Us. The same man she accused of sexual harassment, emotional manipulation, and orchestrating a campaign to discredit her in the media. Lively claimed that after she refused his advances and stood up to his behaviour on set, Baldoni retaliated. Not just through backdoor studio politics, but through a calculated media smear campaign. It wasn't just her name on the line, it was her entire career. According to the court documents, Lively stated that Baldoni coordinated leaks, planted damaging stories, and even tried to sabotage her relationship with husband Ryan Reynolds. And as if that wasn't enough, Baldoni came back swinging with a $400 million defamation countersuit that included Lively, Reynolds, her PR team, and even the New York Times. That's when Hollywood realised this wasn't just a lawsuit, this was war. Justin Baldoni didn't just deny Blake Lively's accusations. He fired back with one of the most aggressive counters Hollywood's ever seen. In January 2025, Baldoni filed a $400 million defamation lawsuit, naming Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, her entire public relations team, and even the New York Times as co-defendants. His claim? That Lively and her camp orchestrated a smear campaign of catastrophic proportions, leaking false information, manipulating media outlets, and damaging his brand, career, and public standing. Baldoni accused them of exploiting the media to frame him as a predator, all while knowing, according to him, that the claims were fabricated. His legal team even alleged that Ryan Reynolds used his influence to pressure media platforms into bearing Baldoni's side of the story. It was a bold move and a risky one, because now the court wasn't just looking at harassment, it was dissecting every email, every press release, every conversation between two of the most powerful celebrity teams in Hollywood. Suddenly, what started as a personal battle became a public trial of image, influence, and truth. The court of law was one thing. But the court of public opinion, that's where the damage was already being done. Fans were divided, celebrities took sides, and the media couldn't look away. In February 2025, just when the public thought this was another Hollywood he said, she said, Blake Lively's legal team filed an amended complaint, and what they included shocked even the most jaded court watchers. Dozens of internal emails, text messages, and private DMs, all pointing to what they called a coordinated smear machine targeting Lively. But that wasn't all. The documents included detailed timelines of events, days where Lively raised concerns on set, followed immediately by negative press leaks from anonymous sources. The implication that Baldoni and his team were actively retaliating against her in real time. Even more disturbing, Lively's team submitted statements from multiple insiders, some anonymous, others on record, claiming Baldoni made inappropriate comments, manipulated cast members, and tried to control the film's narrative around his character and around her. The most damning quote came from an unnamed female crew member who said, Justin treated Blake like she was the story, not the actress, like her personal life was part of his script, and then came the digital trail. Logs allegedly tying Baldoni's team to burner accounts that amplified anti-Lively posts on social media. It was no longer about blurred lines or misunderstood intentions. This was starting to look like a coordinated takedown. And the industry, watching it all unfold like a slow-motion car crash. The lawsuits were already explosive, but once the amended filing went public, Hollywood lit up, supporters came out of the shadows. Actress America Ferrera, who worked with Baldoni before, issued a quiet but pointed statement. I stand with those who speak the truth even when it's inconvenient. Author Colleen Hoover, whose book It Ends With Us started it all, liked several tweets defending Lively. A subtle move, but one that spoke volumes to fans. Meanwhile, a growing faction of celebrities stayed silent, not out of indifference, but out of fear. One publicist told Variety off record, "Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of this, but everyone has an opinion, and everyone's watching." But the silence didn't stop Blake's side. Her team filed over a dozen subpoenas aimed at social media platforms and even YouTubers who covered the initial leak. And yes, Taylor Swift's name came up. Lively's team allegedly explored subpoenaing Swift's communications, since Swift is close with both Blake and Ryan. The internet exploded with speculation. Was Taylor dragged into this behind the scenes? Fans weren't just commenting anymore. They were investigating, choosing sides, and demanding the truth. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni supporters accused Lively of weaponizing the media. They claimed the entire case was a publicity stunt gone wrong. Hollywood had picked sides, but this wasn't a popularity contest anymore. This was personal, this was strategic, and above all, this was getting dangerous. In June 2025, after months of legal filings, media firestorms, and mounting tension, the court made its first decisive move. Justin Baldoni's $400 million defamation countersuit was officially dismissed. A federal judge ruled that Blake Lively's original complaint and subsequent public statements were legally protected expressions under free speech and whistleblower laws. The ruling sent shockwaves through the industry, not just because it favoured Lively, but because it legally recognised the legitimacy of her claims, at least enough to keep her lawsuit alive and kill Baldoni's in the process. The judge noted that Baldoni had failed to demonstrate any factual basis that Lively's statements were knowingly false or malicious, a crucial standard for defamation at this level. Even more damning, the court concluded that Lively had not used the media to fabricate a story, but had instead responded to ongoing retaliatory attacks after speaking up. That single decision didn't just end a lawsuit, it validated a narrative. One where Blake Lively wasn't a manipulative star chasing headlines, but an actress who had spent years navigating quiet threats, corporate pressure, and whispered rumours just to defend her name. And for Baldoni, it wasn't just a legal defeat, it was a massive blow to his credibility. Because now, with his countersuit off the table, the spotlight was back on him, and Blake's case headed for trial. The judge has spoken, the countersuit is dead, and now all eyes turn to March 9th, 2026, the official trial date. Blake Lively's case will finally be heard before a jury, witnesses will testify, evidence will be laid bare, and names, powerful names, may be dragged into the spotlight. Industry insiders are already predicting a media frenzy, reporters are staking out federal courtrooms, and legal analysts say the trial could take months, possibly overlapping with major film releases, red carpet events, even awards season. This case is no longer just about Blake and Justin, it's become a symbol, a test of how far Hollywood power structures will go to protect or destroy one of their own. Already, PR firms are rewriting playbooks, studios are re-evaluating their non-disclosure policies. Talent agencies are training stars in reputation crisis management. This case changed the rules, and no matter how the verdict lands in 2026, the fallout is already here. Careers will shift, partnerships will dissolve, and the industry will never be able to claim innocence again. Because after this, everyone knows. Behind every red carpet smile, behind every no comment, there's a machine running in the background, and sometimes that machine turns on its own. The cameras may stop rolling, but this story is far from over. As Blake Lively prepares for the biggest courtroom battle of her career, and Justin Baldoni faces the fallout of a collapsed countersuit. One thing is clear, Hollywood can no longer hide behind silence. The secrets are spilling, the reputations are cracking, and the truth, it's coming whether they're ready or not. If you want more raw, unfiltered breakdowns of the scandals shaking the entertainment world, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and don't just scroll past the headlines. Because here, we tell the whole story. See you in the next expose.